I know it sounds crazy, but I promise I'm being serious, and I'm going to explain why. When you first start in the gym and you start to see results because of the work you're putting in, you're working on your nutrition, you're getting the amount of sleep you need, you're working out with weights in the gym, you start to get those results, you start to feel more confident, you have a boost in self-esteem, it feels great. You look at the scales and you're happy with what you see on the scales, you're making progress. You look in the mirror and you're seeing consistent progress. What's not such a good feeling is when that weight loss slows down and eventually stops and you don't seem to be able to make any more progress. And I'm going to talk about how we can fix that. I'm going to explain this right from the top, so make sure you guys stick with me, and I also have a video that I want you guys to watch at the end of this, which is really going to help you out. So the way I want to break this down is first in the most simple way possible so that we can all understand this, and for you guys who already know, then at least you've got a refresher and it's fresh up here. So there's three things to consider here when it comes to your caloric intake. You have a calorie surplus, you have maintenance calories, and you have a calorie deficit. So let's quickly explain those three. A calorie surplus, let's say we take Bob. Bob needs 2,500 calories per day just to function, just to be able to do his job, just to be able to live and breathe and survive and maintain his weight. Now, if Bob was to eat 3,000 calories per day, that's 500 calories more than what he actually needs. His body won't need that 500 extra calories, and so it will use those 500 calories and store them as body fat for later usage. So that might be body fat on the belly, that might be fat on the chest, it could be anywhere, and that is how people gain weight and get into a position where they're overweight or obese over time, is by eating too many calories. Next we have maintenance calories. Maintenance calories are very simple. It's the 2,500 calories in this case for Bob. This is of course just an example. Everybody's numbers will be slightly different, but this is the number of calories that you eat each day where you don't gain any body fat and you won't lose any body fat either. You will just simply stay the same. And then we have the calorie deficit. So let's say we take Bob again and he needs that 2,500. We now put Bob on 2,000 calories per day. His body still wants that extra 500 calories. And because he doesn't have enough food, what his body will do is take that energy it wants from the body fat stores all around the body, whether it's the belly, the chest, the arm, what we spoke about a second ago, and it will use that body fat as an energy source because he doesn't have enough calories to function throughout the day. And that is over time how you lose body fat, is by eating in that calorie deficit. So I hope you guys are following along. Now let's move over to the next part of the video. So we know what happens if you eat in a calorie surplus for a prolonged period of time. You are going to be obese. If you eat in a calorie surplus for years, you will be obese by the end of it. So what happens when you eat in a calorie deficit for too long? We already know in the short term, it actually means fat loss. But what happens in the long term? You have to remember that your body doesn't understand that you're placing yourself in a calorie deficit intentionally. So if you was to lose 1 pound of body fat per week by eating in a calorie deficit, and you did this for 1, 2, 3 months, you'll be okay. If you try to do this for a prolonged period of time, what's going to happen is your body thinks you're actually starving. Your body thinks the reason you're eating less is because you don't have access to more calories. Those calories are not available to you. And if this continues, you would of course die. So what your body does to compensate for this, which is rather clever, is it just slows your metabolism down. It slows down the rate at which you're burning those calories. So if Bob needed 2,000 calories to lose body fat, your body will slow your metabolism down, and now it might be 1,800 calories for Bob to lose the same body fat that he was losing before. And at this point, this is where most people make the biggest mistake you can make when it comes to losing body fat. And that is, they will take that 2,000 calories and they will lower it to 1,800. And of course, when I say 2,000 calories or 1,800, I'm just using these numbers for an example. Your calorie numbers will be different. I just want to remind you guys of that so that you don't forget. That is one of the biggest mistakes you can make, because what's going to happen at that point is you might lose a little more body fat, and then your metabolism will lower itself even more. So then your calorie deficit might be 1,600 calories, and then you'll lower it again and again, and before you know it, that's how you destroy your body. Your hormones will be all over the place, your testosterone will be way down here, your body will be totally messed up by keep decreasing the calories further and further and further. The only way to do this is to send a signal to the body, to tell the body that actually you're not starving, that we're absolutely fine. That way your body can optimize your hormones, and more importantly, your metabolism again. So what you need to do is actually eat more calories.
No, 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 hell no, 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 I refuse, no.
So if you've lost 10 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever the number is that you've lost, and you hit that weight loss plateau, you can't lose any more. The first time this happens, I do recommend lowering the calories by 200 or 300 because you've lost a lot of fat. You still probably have room to lose some more. But if this happens again, this is the time where you actually need to spend 4 or 5 weeks increasing your calories slightly. You have to do this in a strategic way because of course you don't want to gain back all the weight that you've just lost. What you need to do is increase your calories by 200-300 and leave it at that for a few weeks. You should be weighing yourself each week and gaining around 0.5 pounds on the scales for that week, and let this last around 4 or 5 weeks and see how much you can increase your calories. Some people actually benefit from doing this for a few months. So what they will do is eat more maintenance calories, they'll increase their calories, and they'll see how they can just add a slight bit more calories each week, whether it's 50 calories per week, sometimes as much as 100, and they'll get their body running like a machine. They'll get their metabolism as high as possible, and then when they go back to losing body fat again, it makes it much easier. It's why I always tell people that want to lose body fat that they should build some muscle as well. Not only so that when they lose that body fat they look good because they're not skinny, but also because the more muscle you build, the more calories that you can eat, because muscles require nutrients, they require calories, which makes it a lot easier to lose body fat when you have more muscle. The video I want you guys to go over and watch next is on screen right now. It's how to target fat loss, or can you target fat loss from specific areas. If you wanted to lose fat from the chin or the chest or the arms, is that possible? In that video I explain whether that is possible or not. I hope this video was helpful for you guys, and don't forget to leave your comments if there's anything that you guys need help with.